Morning to all the dignitaries, distinguished academicians, eminent professors from different universities across Telangana and beyond, industry representatives, paper presenters, participants, press, media, teaching and non-teaching staff members of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. Welcome to this two-day national conference on the topic Business Transformation for Sustainable Development, being organized by the Faculty of Commerce and Business Management. Business transformation for sustainable development is not just a choice, it is a responsibility to ensure a better future for the next generation. Sustainability these days has become a core part of business strategy. It is intertwined with survival and profitability. However, the challenges are many. This national conference will serve as a platform for specific deliverables as far as transformation for sustainability is concerned. Without wasting much of your time, I would now like to request all the dignitaries to come onto the stage. First and foremost, I invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Ganta Chakrapani sir, and along with him, the Chief Guest, Professor Balakrishna Reddy sir, Chairman of Telangana Council of Higher Education, to please come onto the stage. I also invite our distinguished Chief Guest, Sri Jayesh Ranjan, IAS, Principal Secretary, Government of Telangana, to please come onto the stage. It is my pleasure and privilege to invite the keynote speaker, Professor Sudarshan Kuntrulu, Dean, Executive Education, Indian Institute of Management. And I also invite our registrar, Dr. L.V.K. Reddy sir, and the conference director, Professor Anand Pawar, to please come onto the stage. To welcome our participants, our distinguished guests, I now request Crazy Deepsita to please welcome the chief guest, Professor Balakrishna Reddy sir, with the presentation of a flower bouquet. I request Nuha to present a bouquet to our Honorable Vice Chancellor. Kirtana Priya will present it to Sri Jayesh Ranjan. Bhargavi will present the bouquet to Professor Sudarshan. Namini will present the bouquet to the conference director. To begin the conference on an auspicious note, I now request the dignitaries to please proceed with the lighting. to continue the divinity, I request R.B. Iyer to sing a prayer song. I request all the audiences to please stand when the song is released.
Good morning, everybody. I sincerely wish you a happy National Conference Day. My name is Arabi Iyer. I'm going to be singing a very devotional prayer song for all of you. I hope it's to your liking. Let me just set my tanpura. Shri Sakalaganaadipapalaya Mamalisham Shri Sakalaganaadipapalisham Varaseti Vinayaka Janani Posha Varachandra Mauli Sutasri Sakalaganaadipapalaya Mamalisham Chita pada Chita pada Masurang karuna samudra varavayu putra Anumanta vayatra Sri Sakalaganaadipapalaya Mamalisham Nandanandana Vandanamastute Adana Purahara Nandanandana Vandanamastute Kundaradana Mukunda Murahara Mandarodhara Vandita Vedajana Nandaradaya Nivasa Sundara Mandahati Kamakanara Binda Makaranda Pana Sangita Sudabaya Sri Sakalaganaadipapalaya Mamalisham. Thank you.
Now hand over to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, President of Keynote.
Thank you, Dr. Ravindra Salman. Very good morning to all of you. Distinguished chief guest, Professor Balakrishna Reddy Garu, Chairman, Telangana Council of Higher Education. Honorable guest of honor and a very distinguished administrator, Sri Jayesh Ranjan IAS Garu. Esteemed keynote speaker, Professor Sudarshan Kalluru Garu. Professor Anand Pawar, Dean, Faculty of Commerce and Business Administration, and Director of this national seminar. Distinguished speakers, paper writers, eminent people came from different parts of the country. Of course, my colleague Anirban Bose is here from Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Open University and other industry representatives, paper presenters, and research scholars and my dear students. A very good morning to all of you. It gives me an immense pleasure to host this national seminar at Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University on business transformation for sustainable development. I congratulate the Department of Commerce and Business Administration faculty for organizing a very timely and very focused seminar and bringing this academic gathering to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. I welcome you all to our esteemed university. This university, named after Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, was established in 1982. They are celebrating now, entering into 45 years of our dedication for higher education. And our mission is to reach every individual of this country, which is the education for all through open and distance education system. This university is located a very vibrant business hub, Jubilee Hills. Around this university, we have at least 5,000 probably. J. Ranjan will give you a right kind of size business houses around Jubilee Hills and Financial District and entire Hyderabad. This is the peak of Jubilee Hills. And we are enrolling around 1.2 lakh students every year. The existing learners of our live register is 6.20 lakhs. So it is, as far as the size is concerned, it is almost 4 universities, 4 state universities. They are serving millions of people. So far, 2.5 millions enrolled in our university, and out of them, around 1 million of them got their graduation in different faculties. And our students now in very important positions, not only in administration, not only in foreign relations, not only in revenue, but also in top business houses. We have collaborations with almost a dozen business houses and industries, including Apollo, Dr. Reddy's, and BCSIR, and several other entrepreneur agencies and organizations like we have and all such kind of organizations. Till recent times, we used to cater the needs of rural as well as disadvantaged sections who have not completed their education in their regular format and regular mode. But recently they have changed our strategy. Now we are linking to industry with employability as a focus, skill development as a main agenda, and we started new programs from this year onwards, and almost 150 programs are coming up. Friends, as all of you know, in my view also, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is the chief architect of not only Indian Constitution and Indian economy also. Much before his constitutional exercise, he was the first student from India to get doctorate from Columbia University, and where he has submitted a very remarkable thesis on British India finances. And later on, he went to London School of Economics, and he has submitted the problem of the rupee, its origin and its solutions. These two theses become two pillars of Indian economy. Based on his first thesis of Columbia, Indian Finance Commission is shaped, and how we have to distribute our fiscal resources for the mission of Indian Finance Commission. And later on, based on his problem of rupee, the Reserve Bank of India is shaped. These two institutions become two strong pillars for Indian economy. We have seen several kind of crises across the world as far as finances and market is concerned. At once upon a time, even America also collapsed. Subprime issue has emerged, and Europe is constantly collapsing. But Indian economy is very strong, robust and very strong because of these two and several such other foundations. In earlier days, business means profit, and every business house They used to grow based on the profit and their own asset need. But the situation is changed. When faculty proposed this seminar, in fact, I had discussions with them almost 2-3 days. How you are relating business transformation into sustainability and sustainable development. Earlier, as I said, business means sustainability of business, sustainability of family, sustainability of businesses. Now it is not the case. Now business means sustainable environment, sustainable society, sustainable future of the country, and sustainable future of the state. So, in this context, in fact, they convinced me. And while the discussions, I suggested to my colleagues, if that is the case, Mr. Jayesh Ranjan should be here. Because, and you may think that, how can be an IAS officer, will be a chief guest for the academic seminar. In fact, I requested him to deliver a keynote on this. But he was traveling. Why I chose and the university chose him means he established a model of business, model of economic growth, model of economic sustainability, model of social justice in Telangana state. As all of you know, Telangana state is the youngest state in the country, and we have just 12 years, 12.5 years old. And when we were in a confusion how to proceed further, because it is branded as very poor state, backward state, and with that backwardness only, the feeling of backwardness only, we started for a separate state movement. And once the state is established, then government handed over the steering to Mr. Jayesh Ranjan, where, he almost in a top gear, he drove this entire state to the level of number 1, crossing all 10 states and business. In this context, Telangana is a very sustainable and vibrant ecosystem to grow the business. And he proved that. And Telangana state industrial policy, they have evolved an industrial policy where there is no grills to our windows. Am I right, sir? Single window without grills. And that single window without grill system has seen a tremendous kind of growth in economy, whether it is GDP, whether it is whatever the factors you measure for the sustainability also. Telangana is number 1 now. Not just a policy, but Telangana has initiated several agencies and institutions also. Our T-Hub, an incubation center to young minds. It is just, a kilometer away for us. We have is a strong ecosystem of open within our university campus. And whether it is pharma city, whether it is digital city, whether it is financial city, now Telangana is destination for all the business houses of the country. Not only country, in the world, all top 5 multinational companies and tech companies are located in Hyderabad. In this context, this university has started rethinking. For the last 1 year, we are doing some exercise. Jayesh Ranjan, and he entered into my chamber. He asked me how you are meeting the challenges. Not exactly this question, what are the new courses you are starting? For the last 1 year, we are doing some exercise. First, we started collaborating with industry. We have collaborated with industry, sector skill councils, and top IT companies like recruiters like TCSAR, and we have and other agencies. This is one part of our effort. And the second, sir, along with all open universities, we have allied with Commonwealth of Learning And we are changing our entire curriculum now, and we are importing some employability skills into curriculum. That process also, I mean, it is underway, and of course, we are ahead of the time and the schedule. This is second aspect, sir, and we are launching new programs, very close to your heart. We have designed almost 10 different short duration computer related as well as business related programs, and we are launching that during April. We are going to celebrate this April. Now, not only just Social Justice Day, this time we are Digital Empowerment Day. I am announcing this. This April will be Digital Empowerment Day, where we are launching 10 different courses to empower all our learners. Sir, in TCS ION, we have entered an MOU with them, and we collaborated with them, and we are deputing 500 students every year to their graduate employability program, employment guarantee program, and we have created equal opportunity scholarships here with the name Samata. Samata is equity of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's, very favorite kind of philosophy. In that Samata scholarships, we are sponsoring 500 core students to that TCS and specialized course. After completing that course, we are sure that 500 students will be incorporated in corporate houses as managers, and that is the target of that program. In the second program of Samata, sir, we have initiated Entrepreneur Telling We Enable program with We Hub, Women Entrepreneurs Hub. There we are sponsoring 1,000 girl students from the same rural and poor backgrounds, and we are paying the fees for them, and they also will become entrepreneurs of the future. So we are trying to build this university as a feeder for industry. Feeder for industry, as well as other business corporate houses. Because of the, you understand, and this government understands the principle of sustainability. Sustainability depends not only the business environment and others, it also depends on resources and other ecosystem. The Telangana government has created such kind of ecosystem in Hyderabad as well as rural Telangana. That's why the industry is looking towards Telangana. The sustainability because of availability of land and any industry will look at the primary resources like land, water, and good governance, and also best policy suitable to their goals. That leads to sustainable business. And we have a person who really made that possible. And also the government also did that. As a university, we are trying to reach the industry, collaborate with industry, and also we are trying to associate and launch the new programs to meet the requirements of the present day business environment. With these few words, I stop here, and now I request Professor Balakrishna Reddy is here. Balakrishna Reddy is the leader of Telangana education. He is the chairman of Telangana State Council of Higher Education. He is guiding guide of all the universities. He is not only an administrator, simple administrator. He is also expert in industry-related law, industry-related programs. He was earlier with NALSA. He was expert of defense industry and other corporate law. He has to go. In fact, he with a great difficulty he is here. Just thank you for honoring our invitation, sir. Because all of you are here. He has an appointment with the Honorable Chief Minister today. He has to go there. Now I request Professor Balakrishna Reddy to give his address. Thank you. Respected Vice Chancellor, J.S. Ranjanji, Keynote Speaker, Coordinator, respected faculty members, and my dear students. Let me first congratulate the organizers because they have chosen a topic of topical importance because business transformation and sustainable development, two important themes. When we say business transformation, when business started, why business has to transform, and how sustainability is connected. Maybe since I just now checking the today agenda, I thought I'll give you just the background sort of discussion. So business is not new to the humanity. Business was there, is going to be there. But what kind of transformation business is happening is important. That's why we are all here. So when I say business, back to the, I'm a student of law. So back to the, ancient times, the business agreements happened way back in 14th century BC. King of Egypt to Babylonia, talking about the business. So business is not new to humanity. But the kind of transformation which is happening in the business, we all have to discuss. What kind of transformation is happening? Yes, we saw business from guild societies to, barter system to today we are in, e-commerce, m-commerce, mobile commerce. All these are all part of the transformation of, business. Of course, here, when we say business, there are a lot of efforts. Maybe as student, I can tell in 2-3 minutes. Three important factors I consider which are important in building the business context across the globe. Because when I say business, yes, there are institutions which are part of the international business. When I say example, whether it's a GAP, whether it's a IMF, that's the IBRD, international banking for reconstruction and development, IBRD, World Bank, and then today we have a WTO. Okay, these are all institutions which are playing important role in transforming the business across the globe. Friends, today we are living in an interdependent world. How mighty countries are, how powerful countries are, how big countries, it won't matter. We have to depend on other countries. What I recollected, when 3rd century BC, Aristotle said, man is a social animal. But today I'm telling you, countries are social beings. We are living in an interdependent world. That is what business transformation is very important, and it is transformed. The institutions like just now I said, whether it's Bretton Woods institutions, what we call, IMF, IBRD, today WTO is there. This is a one aspect. Other important thing, when I say business, I consider 5 important factors which are influencing the business or business transformation. One is the globalization, other one is the liberalization, third one is the private participation in the business, fourth one is digitization. That's what I can see. Few topics part of digital technology, how business is influencing. Digitization, I call it. And last one is the COVIDization. What is the COVIDization? So I am using, I don't say I how to discover or invented. As a scholar, researcher, I am using, you won't find in dictionary. COVIDization is nothing but COVID pandemic. What kind of transformation which COVID pandemic showed, all sectors, business is no exception. That's what. When I say globalization, yes, we are in an interdependent world. I said, business transformation happened, part of that globalization, countries, liberalized their policies, including India, if you look at post, 1991. Part of that liberalization, private participation there. Digitization is one area where business is a lot impacting, particularly when I say digitization technology. Again, technology which is influencing all of us. Business is no exception. I don't want to go into, but today digital transformation is the integral part of the business transformation. So then COVID, I told you that this is one aspect we have to look at when we talk about the business transformation. What is happening elsewhere? I said again, I'm repeating, interdependent world, globalized world. That's why we have to look at, when tariff, Trump imposed tariffs, why India has to bother? Because, we are, it is impacting all of us. That is one aspect you all have to do that. What kind of changes which brought by these institutions. Second important aspect, sustainability. Yeah, sustainable development. Of course, friends, sustainable development is, again, we have a important, treaties like Stockholm Conference of 1970. Because environment, today the debate, earlier also, of course, now also, whether development business is important or, environment is important.
development versus environment. That's a kind of debate happened. So then, of course, there are two different views across the globe. One is development is important for developing countries. You all know that two-thirds of the global society today consists of the developing countries. That's why, development is important for all of us, particularly developing countries. Of course, you all know that India is also a developing country. Okay. So other, developed country is the environment. That's where the debate, development versus environment. And of course, there are, instruments like STACO and human environment. They focused on human environment. Transforming that into environment and development, we have a Rio conference, 1992. And then Johannesburg Declaration. All this, now moving from, human environment to environment and development. All these are a part of, discussions. Of course, one important document you all know, Brundtland Commission report of 1987. When we talk about sustainable development here and there, so development that meets needs of the present without compromising ability of future generation. That is what Brundtland Commission said, and after that, lot of studies talk about sustainable development. And today, sustainability is the buzzword for all, whether it's a business, whether it's any aspect. So that's why I want to congratulate you, powers up for choosing a topic of topical importance. I said in my beginning remarks, and this is very important. Yes, Chakrabarti sir, I know your family, you told about 6.2 lakhs. But if I say my family, I represent almost 19 to 20 lakhs, 2 million students are my family. That's why I say sometimes, we have a lot of problems, big family. You are also part of my family, of course. So, higher education. Yes, sir mentioned about how the transformation of higher education. As a chairman, what is our vision of higher education in Telangana? Higher education at the doorsteps of the needy with affordable cost without compromising quality. Affordability, accessibility, quality, equity, inclusiveness. He was mentioning about the education, inclusiveness. These are all 5 pillars where government of Telangana moving under the able direction of our chief minister. And today, whatever the courses we design, one thing we all have to keep in mind, that global competition. I said interdependent world, now I'm moving to global competition. Industry needs. We also here in Council of Higher Education last 1 year, we are trying our best to make the change. I know education system is in a lot of challenges. I call it a vicious circle, but we have to cut that vicious circle. Where to cut? Where to begin? It's giving a updated syllabus. That is what TGCH is trying to give, and I'm happy to share with you all learned people on the dais is that, sir, we are also introducing new innovative courses, employable courses, and which are unexplored courses. This time, Telangana Council of Higher Education, because that's the mandate. We have a mandate. We are trying to incorporate some of the new courses. So that's the one point. And I know you are going to discuss again. So with this, I want to thank for giving me this opportunity. With your permission, I release that once again. Thank you very much.
I know you are busy today. That's why I definitely waiting to explain. I think they must have come here, but that was only. Yes, we do that. Now we release the song, and we have to felicitate our chief guest. Definitely. And then now the real conference introduction will come up with the introductory speech of our lead and the come out there. Please come. Now again, yeah, we are back to business conference business. Now I request conference director, Dr. Anand Pawar, to briefly introduce about them.
Respected Vice Chancellor, sir, and President of this function, Professor Ganta Chakrapani Garu, distinguished guests, Chief Guest Professor V. Balakrishna Reddy Garu, just left. Distinguished guests, Sri J. Ranjan IAS Garu, keynote speaker Professor Sudarshan K. from Indian Institute of Management, Kozhikode, directors, deans, heads of the branches, organizing committee members, eminent professors, distinguished delegates, researchers, faculty members, Dr. Professor Rabindranath Solomon, Professor Y.S. Kiranmai, Dr. Radha Krishna, and Dr. Srinivas, students and participants, press, media, good morning to all of you. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this two-day national conference on business transformation for sustainable development, organized by the Faculty of Commerce and Business Management, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, Hyderabad. This conference has been conceived as an important academic platform to deliberate on one of the most urgent and relevant issues of our time. How business systems are transforming to respond to sustainable challenges in the rapidly changing world. Today, business transformation is no longer limited to growth, expansion, or technology adoption alone. It increasingly means changing business strategies, processes, models to operate in a more responsible, ethical, and sustainable way. Across sectors, organizations are now expected to balance economic growth, environmental protection, and social well-being simultaneously. The significance of this conference lies in understanding that sustainable development is no longer optional. It has become a need of the hour. Because natural resources are limited, environmental pressures are increasing, and business must use resources responsibly if they wish to remain relevant in the long term. This transformation also reflects a larger global shift from traditional profit-only models to purpose-driven business models, where organizations are expected to generate economic value while creating positive social and environmental impact. Businesses today do not operate in isolation. They, they do not function in a vacuum. Every business activity directly or indirectly affects society, consumers, communities, and future generations. Therefore, sustainability has become central to policy, management education, research, and institutional decision making. Consumers themselves are changing rapidly. Today's consumers increasingly prefer eco-friendly, ethical, transparent, and socially responsible brands. Communicates also evaluate organizations not only on profits but on ESG performance, governance, standards, and long-term sustainability commitments. That is why conferences like this become important because they create a space where academics, researchers, policymakers, industry experts, healthcare professionals, students come together to discuss how business transformation can contribute meaningfully to sustainable development. I'm happy to share that the responses to this conference has been highly encouraging. A total number of 190 abstracts were received from across the country, representing academicians, researchers, faculty members, healthcare experts, industry professionals, and students from diverse institutions and disciplines. After careful review and scrutiny, 143 full papers were submitted under various conference themes. The conference themes were carefully designed around highly contemporary and interdisciplinary areas, which include digital transformation for sustainability, fintech and sustainable finance, digital marketing, sustainable retailing, supply chain and operations, sustainable healthcare services, sustainable human capital and leadership, and sixth and last one is sustainable business models and entrepreneurship. These themes reflect current realities where sustainability interacts with technology, finance, healthcare, leadership, and entrepreneurship. Out of, out of the full papers received, 81 papers have been selected for publication into journal values after review and completion of publication formalities. These papers have been forwarded for publication in IJMER journal, which is going to be launched tomorrow during valedictory session. In addition to all accepted abstracts, we have been compiled into conference souvenir, which is being released just now. The journal value will be formally released during the valedictory session. One of the strongest features of this conference is the enthusiastic participation of students along with faculty members and researchers. We strongly believe that conferences should not remain confined to not only to senior researchers, but they must also become learning space for young learners. Students from undergraduate, postgraduates, and professional streams have actively contributed papers on emerging themes related to sustainability, digital transformation, healthcare innovation, fintech, and entrepreneurship. To encourage quality research academic work, we have also instituted best paper awards under separate categories for students as well as researchers, that is faculty, so that merit is recognized fairly across levels. I place on record, sir, our sincere gratitude to Indian Council of Social Science Research, ICSSR, Telangana State Council of Higher Education for their encouragement and academic support. I also sincerely thank Deccan School of Management, Healthcare Management, KIMS Hospitals, Apollo Hospitals for extending financial support and cooperation for this conference. We are equally grateful to all the collaborating institutions supporting colleges, academic partners, reviewers, editorial board members, keynote speakers, panelists, session chairpersons, faculty colleagues, organizing committee members, student volunteers whose dedication made this conference possible today. I especially thank all the authors whose papers have added academic richness and diversity to this conference. Ultimately, sustainable business transformation is not only merely about compliance or regulation, but it is about building systems that are resilient, responsible, and future ready. Sustainable practices improves brand reputation, investor confidence, institutional credibility, and long-term profitability. In reality, business that become sustainable are not only helping society, they also helping themselves secure long-term survival and growth. I'm confident that the deliberations during these 2 days will generate valuable insights, strengthen the academic collaborations, and inspire future research direction. Thank you all and wish this conference a great success. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Professor Pawar. I congratulate you again for very systematic design of the conference. I wish definitely the 2 days deliberation evolve a new kind of approach. Now I invite a person who is very simple. And when it is IT conference, is an ideal word. If it is business conference, it's business strategist. If it is policy making, definitely the policy maker. I have very long association with situation. Almost worked together 10, 11 years since the formation of Telangana. Is visionary and led this. Not only I'm not praising, but he's a person who listens to the needs of the society. Very casually we met someday and I requested him, why don't you support us in in IT kind of thing. Immediately he went there and he allocated 10 terabyte space in state data center. Well, we are utilizing that thing and we are expecting more because we are launching our new elements and the new program. We'll send another letter to you. Thank you for honoring our request to come over here as one of the guests. Now I request now I request Jayesh Ranjan Garu to deliver his address.
Thank you very much, respected Vice Chancellor, Professor Chakrapani, Professor Sudarshan, Professor Anand, all the other invitees, guests, distinguished staff members of Ambedkar Open University. All of us are aware that Honorable Prime Minister has set a very important goal for the country. When India achieves 100th year of independence in 2047, he wants the country to become Vikasit Bharat, an advanced country. And in my opinion, this is the biggest transformation opportunity that we are seeing for a generation. I mean, Professor Balkrishna Reddy spoke about various kinds of milestones when we have seen significant progress in different economic and social streams. But for a country as a whole to achieve something so phenomenal, this is a once in a lifetime kind of a opportunity. So just as Prime Minister has spoken about the entire country, states also have started looking at their own exercises, their policy making, their vision documents, etc. And what I propose to do in the next 7-8 minutes is to tell you about the exercise which was done here in Telangana, because I myself led that exercise. And apart from talking about business sustainability, environmental sustainability, how a state is looking at sustainable development in a holistic way, this can be a very good exemplar for that. So the visioning exercise of Telangana is called Telangana Rising, and on 9th of December, it was officially released. So approximately 3 months have gone by. The document is available online. You are welcome to take a look at the Telangana Rising Vision document, Vision 2047 document. There are three main components, three main sections of this particular document, and I'll speak very briefly about each of these. The first section is on economic development, where again there are different sub-chapters, but the headline of the economic development chapter is that Telangana strives to become a $3 trillion economy by 2047. See, as many of you would know, Honorable Prime Minister, when he has laid the Vikasit Bharat goal, the target that he has put is that India will become a $30 trillion economy by 2047. So currently, Telangana contributes 5% to country's economic growth, country's GDP. And our aspiration is that if we perform far better than what we are performing, we can actually contribute 10% of the country's GDP. So when country's GDP is targeted at $30 trillion, 10% is $3 trillion. That is the headline. And of course, the chapter explains who will contribute this to this $3 trillion economic goal. How much will come from the IT sector? How much will come from the life sciences sector? How much will the MSMEs contribute? How can we do more in terms of exports and get more export returns? What are the other sectors? There are certain sectors which have underperformed in Telangana. For example, the tourism sector, can we get more out of this sector? Some sectors have not been explored at all, not just in Telangana, but not much in our country also. So we have identified a few such sectors. One sector is called the nighttime economy. So many of the global cities today have pockets in the city where the economy functions 24/7 throughout the day, throughout the night. So can we create similar pockets, at least in the city of Hyderabad, and see what value the nighttime economy can give? So there are about 20 odd activities which hopefully will contribute to this $3 trillion economy goal. One other very important thing which we have done in our visioning exercises, see, typically states which have large metropolitan cities as their capital, like Hyderabad in Telangana, Bangalore in Karnataka, Chennai in Tamil Nadu, Bombay, and so on. The development typically tends to cluster in those metropolitan cities. And Telangana also, we keep facing this criticism that everything is happening in Hyderabad, nothing is happening in the rural area, nothing is happening in the districts. So for the first time ever, a statewide planning has been prepared. What can be contributed by Hyderabad city for sure, but what can be contributed by the peri-urban region, what can be contributed by the rural region. And we have made clear boundary identifiers for these. So as all of us who live in Hyderabad know, we have a beautiful piece of road infrastructure called the Outer Ring Road. So everything inside that Outer Ring Road is core urban. Government is very shortly starting another ring road, which is called the Regional Ring Road. That is another 30-40 kilometers away from Outer Ring Road. So everything between Outer Ring Road and the new upcoming Regional Ring Road will be peri-urban. And the regions beyond the Regional Ring Road will be rural Telangana. So how can rural also contribute to the $3 trillion goal? How can peri-urban contribute to the $3 trillion goal? Why should only priority be given only to the core urban? But if rural and peri-urban have to contribute, what infrastructure has to go there? What skills have to be imparted to people there? What institutions have to be created? And what policies have to be brought for those regions? So these are some of the things which have been explained in the vision document. And we have also written a significant part on what kind of reforms and government institutions, governance institutions are required. Because if you are hoping that Telangana will become an important contributor to India's growth story, it will contribute 10% of the country's GDP. Obviously, it will mean that you attract lots of outbound, you attract lots of investments from overseas, from other parts of the country. But why does the confidence come to you that you only will get all that investment? Why should you not fear that Tamil Nadu may get that investment, Karnataka may get that investment, Andhra Pradesh may get it, Gujarat may get it? So how will you be sure that you become the preferred destination? What kind of further reforms are required? What kind of new policies are required? What kind of skill sets are required? So all this is mentioned in the section on economic development. The second section is equally important, which is on social development. See, eventually, one of the great things which has happened in Telangana in the last 12 years is that we have become the highest state in terms of, we have become the best performing state in terms of per capita income. The per capita income of Telangana is the highest in the country, which also means that development is happening uniform, not that rich are getting richer while ordinary people, the working class people remain stagnant. Everyone is prospering. So in this context, the section on social development is also very important. And our government has identified three distinct social groups, and the government wants to do lots of new things for these groups in the coming 21 years. From now till 2047 is exactly 21 years. So one social group is farmers, and the headline for this social group is that how do you double there? Social group meaning social economic group, or cultivators or farmers, and the headline is how do you double farmers' income? And we have seen in the last 12 years that technology can play a very important role in doubling their income. So lots of points are mentioned there. And how do you take technology to the smallest farmer in the rural and remotest location? How do you make technology accessible? Because many of such people would not have any educational background. They may not know English at all. They won't have access to gadgets. How do you deliver technology to them? Another important group which has been highlighted in the vision document are women. And the headline for the women is very, very interesting. The headline says that in the coming 21 years, 1 crore women will be made crorepati's. Okay, when we say this in Telugu, it sounds very nicely. That 21 సంవత్సరాల్లో 40 మంది మహిళల్ని కోటీశ్వరాలుగా మార్చుకుంటారు. But where are these women? Who are these women? How do you identify their potential? What kind of micro enterprises do they do? How do you scale it up? How do you ensure that each of them become owners of assets worth 1 crore of rupees? It's a very big task, but we have explained in that chapter how it can be done, and lots of detailing. Otherwise, it looks very just like a pipe dream that 1 crore women could be made crorepati's. It sounds nice, but is it really implementable? We have explained in that document how will it be implemented. The third very important section, and since there are large number of students here, are the youth. And again, the headline about this chapter, this segment is very, very interesting. we are committing as the government that in the coming 21 years, all the young people who will join the world of work, which means that those who will complete their education, who will either join some private company or who will become entrepreneurs or who will go and work overseas, whoever they are, once they join the world of work, we will ensure that the best possible skill sets and knowledge are made available. And again, in this chapter, we have explained how this is. We have explained how after class 10th, every student will be evaluated in terms of what his aptitude is, what courses will suit better. Currently, we see this phenomena that lots of students join some course without really checking whether they will really suit that course, whether that course has opportunities. Every year, for example, we have, let us say, police constable recruitment, and you find large number of PhDs, large number of BTechs have applied for those posts. So I'm not saying that police constable is not an important role. They perform very valuable service to the society, but you don't require to be a PhD to do that job. It can be done by a person with basic education also. But if PhDs are applying for a police constable job, it doesn't mean that there are not jobs enough for PhD. There are enough jobs, but they are not the right people who have got that qualification and aspire for those jobs. So how do you settle this kind of a mismatch? So how do you evaluate every student, identify what line of studies will be suited? How do you guide that student, and how do you plan for that entire future of that student? So this is what has been explained in the social development segment focused on students. So this was the second segment, the social development segment, where the focus is on youth, on women, and on farmers. The final section of our Telangana Rising Vision 2047 is on sustainable development. In fact, our Chief Minister was very, very clear that whatever development goals that we set for ourselves, whatever path that we select, it should not dilute or compromise on the environment, the sustainable environment, sustainability goals, clean environment, clean air, clean water, etc. should be very, very important for us. And therefore, the headline that we have given for this chapter is that Telangana will become a net zero state by 2040. Many of you will know that Honorable Prime Minister has committed that India will become net zero by 2047. But India will become net zero by 2070. But for our state, we have decided that we will do it much, much faster. And in the core urban area, the metropolitan area, our goal is to do it even faster than 2047, maybe by 2040 itself. So lots of new things are happening in the core urban area. All the RTC buses that you see, we are going to replace by the end of the year. All of them will be electric buses. All industries in the core urban area will be shifted outside the outer ring road, and complete utilization of green energy, green power, and so on and so forth. So lots of interventions have been planned. Auto rickshaws, which are important modes of commute in our city, we will ensure that all of them are retrofitted to become electric auto rickshaws within the next 2 to 3 years. So by 2047, the whole state will become net zero, and by 2040, the metropolitan area will become net zero. So this is how the Telangana Rising vision document has been planned. Focuses on economic development, focuses on social development, and focuses on sustainable development also. We have also explained how things will happen in the next 21 years. If something has to happen, if something has to be achieved by 2047, it does not mean that you keep sleeping till 2046 and suddenly you wake up and hope that in 1 year some magic will happen. If something has to be done by 2047, action has to start right now. So we have prepared lots of milestones between 2026 and 2030. What should happen from 2030 to 39? What should happen? 2039 is a very important year for us because 2039 will mean completion of 25 years as a state. As Telangana was created in 2014, after 25 in 2039 we will complete 25 years. And of course, 2047 is the target for achieving Vikasit Bharat and Vikasit Telangana. So this is how one can look at how transformation, how development is being planned at a big scale level, while individual institutions, businesses, and corporates plan for their own journey. But it is also possible to do it at the state level, at the country level. And I thought of sharing all this background with you because when we look at 2047's developmental goals for the state as Telangana Rising, it will be the responsibility for everyone to contribute. In fact, we received lots of assistance from experts to prepare this document. And one of the key points which everyone told us that this will only succeed if the productivity of people increases by at least 1.75 times, which is a very, very important prerequisite. If that does not happen, this entire Telangana Rising will remain on paper only. Nothing will be achieved. So, which means that let us say if all of us live and work and contribute to Telangana's economy currently at this level, in the coming 21 years, it has to go up to 1.7 times, 75 times more. So everyone has to take responsibility and focus on this. But as I mentioned right at the beginning, this is a once in a lifetime kind of an opportunity to witness mass scale transformation and development. So once again, I'm very happy that the B.R. Ambedkar Open University, under the leadership of Vice Chancellor Professor Chakpani, have organized this very important 2 days conference. I'm also very happy to see that Vice Chancellor Garu and the entire team has plans for introducing new courses, making more digital content, making the courses more industry relevant, more tailored to the needs of the society. But do factor in this Telangana Rising plans as well. And I guess there are many areas where we have expected contributions to the $3 trillion economy, where there is an absence of enough skilled people. So maybe this is one area where some further courses can be identified. And as a government, we'll be very happy to guide and partner and collaborate in the rolling out of all these courses. So once again, thank you very much for inviting me and good wishes to all.
Thank you, sir. That is this engine. Not only now, as I said, since Telangana is formed, he is applying his brain to bring Telangana to the top level. I really excited, what is the background of Jayesh Ranjan. I think, our people didn't introduce all the guests. Then, if you look at his profile, he is MA Psychology from Delhi University. And again, MBA from Calcutta, IIM Calcutta. And his policy, MA policy, public policy and development from National University, Singapore, Lithuanian School of Public Policy. His profile also, whether it is, Telangana industrial policy or whether it is pharma related activity and IT and ease of doing business, and now Telangana Rising. All this entire for the last 10, 12 years is in the job of building Telangana as in a sustainable way to raise it, raising Telangana 2047. That is his mission. He very clearly explained the sustainable foundation of Telangana state, in particularly in business and industry. Thank you, sir. Thank you for delivering a wonderful address. Now we have a small book release event. This book, Marketing Research, is written by Professor Anand Pawar, Professor Patrick from Usman University, and Anand Pawar is here, and Dr. Sarita. It will be released. station. Now I request Mr. Sudarshan Kuntura Garu to deliver keynote.
Correct. Professor Sudarshan sir, delivered his keynote. We are delighted here to present the sir's biodata to all the delegates and also invitees here. Professor Sudarshan Kunturi is a professor of finance and accounting at IIM Kozhikode, and now sir is currently working as Dean Executive Education in IIM Kozhikode. At the same institute, IIM Kozhikode, he held various administrative positions, including chairperson of the KGP Finance Program, chairperson of the Finance and Accounting Area, and chairperson of Management Development Programs. Prior to this, he did his postdoctoral research at Indian School of Business, Hyderabad. In the past, he also worked as a faculty member at NMIMS University, Mumbai. His research interests include the impact of accounting reporting on capital markets, audit quality, sustainability disclosures, corporate governance, and forensic accounting. He has published his research work in Nature Finance and Accounting journals. He is a member of the editorial, advisory, and review board of Accounting Theory and Practice Journal published by CIMA. He is a right member of the Indian Finance Association and Indian Accounting Association, board member of the Accounting Standards Board of the ICAI New Delhi. He attended a faculty development program organized by Harvard Business School in Boston, USA, and Shanghai, China. He teaches financial accounting, fraud detection, and forensic accounting in financial reporting and analysis, and strategic financial management courses to MBA and executive participants. He has recently published a research paper in the FT50 journal, Contemporary Accounting Research, titled The Informativeness of Consolidated and Parent Only Earnings to Investors, Evidence from India. Actually, Sir shared very brief biodata. So my job made is it. Thank you very much, sir, and we'll welcome you once again. Now it's just time to get to speak out. Thank you.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Ganda Chakrabarti Garu, Chief Guest of the Day, Professor V. Balkrishna Reddy Garu, and distinguished guest Sri Jayesh Ranjan Garu, and Dean, Faculty of Commerce and Business Management, Professor Anand Pawar Garu. Esteemed guests, faculty, fellow research scholars, and industry leaders, and the students. Actually, I think we're ready to get good afternoon. So good morning to each one of you. Good morning. Indeed, it's a great honor to deliver a keynote address in the two-day national conference on business transformation for sustainable development. I really appreciate and commend Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, Faculty of Commerce and Business Management team for uniting academia, policymakers, and industry to rethink business futures. with a focus on technological innovation and financial transformation, governance, and sustainable models. This conference recognizes that sustainability now drives the modern economies. The main question today is not whether to think about sustainability or not. Today, in fact, the focus is, or the question is, how fast the businesses should adopt the solutions to address the issues like climate risk, resource limits, technology, and social pressure through green tech, circular systems, digital innovation, and sustainable finance. Business transformation is not simply a change in the way the business is done. Rather, it is about identifying the new ways or reimagining how the value can be created for future generations. In my keynote address, I wish to share my thoughts broadly under 5 heads. Number 1, sustainability transformation. Number 2, sustainable business models. Number 3, the most important one, sustainable finance. The 4th one, the human resource or capacity resource for maintaining the sustainability. The 5th one is the role of policy and institutional support. So in addition to that, I also encourage the delegates to think about, as J. Ranjan Garu rightly said, as in India, what is an opportunity to play a role in global sustainable transformation journey. And lastly, the role of universities and researchers in carrying this particular agenda. So these are all my broad outlines. Let me just go to in specifics and share a few thoughts. Number 1, when you talk about sustainability transformation, sustainability now drives the innovation and profitability of the companies. It is not just compliance requirement. In fact, as you all know, Indian regulations are almost highly appreciated, and we are always ahead of the time when you compare to the other economies. Just to give you an example, one is the CSR spending mandatory. As you all know, Section 135 of Companies Act mandates all the companies to spend for CSR purpose, which is very unique to India. On a similar note, in India, BRSR reporting, business responsibility and sustainability reporting, is mandated for top 1,000 companies by regulator SEBI, Security Exchange Board of India. Like that, India is pioneer in initiating a lot of regulatory requirements. But today, when you look at the sustainability, it is not simply meeting all these compliance requirements. Rather, it should be taken up as a competitive advantage. For example, thinking about the clean energy, sectors like solar, wind, electric mobility, and green hydrogen are expanding rapidly worldwide, offering early adopter a competitive edge. In India, growth in renewable energy, green hydrogen, infrastructure, and digitalization creates opportunities for entrepreneurs and investors. For leaders, indeed, it is a strategic path to grow. It is no longer a checkbox or a tick box. Rather, for a leader, they have to take it as a path to grow and part and parcel of the way they were doing business. In fact, we often get a question in the conferences. We already have a CSR and BRSR, which is in line of the ESG disclosure or sustainable development goals. So researchers or students particularly get a confusion. What is this difference between CSR and ESG kind of a thing? So one of the notable observation is CSR is more of a spending some part of your money for a social good. But whereas ESG is making part and parcel of DNA of your business. So ESG which deals with how you do the business and how you add value to the 3 components: environment, social, and governance. So that's a basic distinction where it is basically the way you do business. Now, when we talk about the sustainable transformation, definitely the very important variable is the green technologies as an engine for transformation. One of the component under this is clean energy and decarbonization. The global shift to renewables, storage, and electrification is accelerating, with manufacturers adopting decarbonization tools like hydrogen, electric heat, and carbon capture to stay competitive and meet market demands for low carbon products. For example, when you look at the corporate practices, I would note company like Infosys, they're already a carbon neutral since 2020. As we were told, India, in fact, having a target to become the carbon neutral down the line. So at a state level, at a company level, everybody is working towards that. One of the example is where Infosys is carbon neutral since 2020. And most of the companies at a ground level are aiming to become net zero much ahead of the time or a target given by the government. And digital technologies typically use as sustainability tools such as AI, big data, IoT, and blockchain help optimize energy and track emissions and boost supply chain transparency. Examples include smart manufacturing, blockchain-based sourcing, and AI waste reduction. Using renewables to power these systems is essential for sustainability in grids, logistics, and agriculture. So this is broadly few thoughts with regard to the sustainable transition, where we can also mention about today's current scenario is sustainable infrastructure and smart cities. Urbanization is rising, particularly in the developing area. So current infrastructure choices will determine the future environmental consumptions. So green building, sustainable transport, and integrated systems are essential for long-term development. Companies in construction, energy, services, and tech are providing smart city and sustainability solutions in today's world. When it comes to the second topic, where I wish to share some thoughts on the new sustainable business models. In that, number one comes the whole idea of circular economy model. This is very interesting. As a business, traditionally, they were under the practice or impression of take, make, and waste. That was the traditional business context. You take the resources from then you can waste it, and you can make it and waste it. But when you look at the sustainable circular economy model, which emphasizes on 3 R's. Number 1, reduce. Number 2, reuse. Number 3, recycle. So today the focus is on circular economy model. To just share a few thoughts on this, the shift to a circular economy encourages material reuse, recycling, and regeneration, reducing the waste and reliance on raw materials. This benefits industries like manufacturing, electronics, and textiles, adds value in emerging economies, and boosts both business resilience and environmental reputation. So this is the one model. The second one, if you see today, the second business model is product as a service model, in which today companies are not only simply selling the product, rather they are selling the product along with the services. How do you look at in the sustainable context? So instead of selling the product outright, companies are increasing offering services built around the product use. Particularly, for example, mobility companies are shifting from vehicle ownership models to shared mobility platforms. For example, in India, in Hyderabad, at least I know, if you wanted to reduce the single usage of the cars or rides, So the concept called shared cab services. That's also one of the steps towards in this direction. And equipment manufacturers are offering pay-per-use instead of outright sale. So which essentially results into these models incentivize the companies to design products that last longer, consume fewer resources, and can be easily repaired or upgraded. This is the second one. The third one, I think many youngsters sitting in the class have been using it. The third one is the platform-based sustainability ecosystem. If you say platform-based sustainability ecosystem, today we have a lot of examples. The gist of this particular model is digital platforms are enabling collaborations across the businesses, supplies, and consumers to support sustainable practices. Platforms that facilitate resources sharing, waste exchange, and circular supply chains are rapidly emerging in many sectors. If I just ask you to recall any of this platform-based sustainable ecosystem, can you recall any guess? Platform-based some of the systems? Artificial intelligence kind of a thing. So basically, whatever the shared services model, in fact, if you see, we run as a part of entrepreneurship cell. So most of the students come up for an integrated product where they try to be a middle path for providing the services for the various parties in the ecosystem. So for example, if you talk about in a lighter note example, many youngsters are sitting here, even that Zomato or Swiggy kind of an example, but there are a lot going to that. Just to make you to think that you are trying to get into a shared services or a platform business. The fourth one under this is the inclusive and social entrepreneurship. Sustainability and inclusive growth go hand in hand. Entrepreneurs in developing countries are creating businesses that tackle social and environmental issues. Their ventures from rural renewable energy to accessible healthcare and sustainable agriculture through profits and positive impact can happen together. These are all typically the few of the business models I thought of sharing, which you can keep thinking going forward. The third one is the most important one, sustainable finance. Yes, the transition is important, but do we have adequate finances? We are in the Faculty of Commerce and Business Management. We all know the finance is the blood of the business. No matter whatever the business we talk, the money flow should happen. So in that regard, sustainable finance is essential to achieving sustainable development as it channels investment into clean technologies, renewables, and sustainable businesses. Financial markets now factor in environmental and social risks, boosting green bonds, climate funds, and ESG investments. So transition finance also assists carbon-heavy industries, especially in emerging economies, to move towards cleaner practices. So in this context, we were actually doing one of the close study with regard to the steel sector, where in the steel sector, particularly the integrated steel sector, where the secondary steel sector, which is highly contributing to the carbon emission. So we are trying to understand how government policy initiatives and the transition finance instruments facilitate these secondary steel sector companies, which are primarily MSME sectors or family-owned enterprises. So there is an ample opportunity for us to see how these schemes are working at a ground level in moving towards the adoption of sustainable practices. The fourth one is definitely important one, capacity building and human capital for sustainability. Human capabilities are essential for sustainable transformation alongside technology and finance. Universities and ongoing professional developments are critical for building the new skills, knowledge, and responsible leadership needed to integrate sustainability into business and industry. The leaders must prioritize long-term value, balancing economic, social, and environmental goals. So this is about the broadly the need of the human resource. The last one is the role of policy and institutional support. Business transformation relies on supportive public policies and institutions. Government can drive sustainability through tools like carbon pricing, renewable energy incentives, green tech support, and clear regulations. Stable policy environments and public-private partnerships are crucial for long-term sustainable innovation. So I thought these are the 5 areas the domain can be further explored. As I mentioned, India is an emerging economy, so I share a few thoughts on India's opportunity in the global sustainability transition. India's rapid economic growth presents both challenges and opportunities for sustainability. The country is advancing in renewables, startups, digital infrastructure, and AI workforce. Its startups are innovating in clean mobility, waste management, climate analytics, and sustainable agriculture, while green finance and ESG practices gain ground. With effective policies and investment, India can play a pivotal role in global sustainable efforts. Lastly, the role of the universities and the research community like all of us. Definitely, conferences like this drive sustainability transformation. Universities serve as a hubs for innovative ideas. Researchers support businesses by clarifying the economic impacts of sustainability, creating green finance models, assessing new technologies, and shaping policy for responsible development. Addressing sustainability requires interdisciplinary approach. Today, the subject cannot be addressed in one way. Definitely, sustainability is an integrated subject, collaborating among economists, engineers, management experts, environmental scientists, and policymakers. Thus, it is indeed an integrated area for all the disciplines. By uniting varied perspectives, academic institutions inform both business strategies and public policy. To take few examples of industries where the sustainability practices are in place. One is the steel and power sector. For example, focusing on the more of a deep decarbonization and transitioning to a circular economy to minimize the waste and emissions. In case of a IT and electronic sector, efforts are concentrated on improving energy efficiency and managing electric waste responsibly through recycling and sustainable disposal practices. And lastly, the food sector, if you look at, is embracing the regenerative agriculture to enhance biodiversity and soil health, while also implementing strategies for effective waste management throughout the supply chain. So these are the areas which are coming. So to conclude, the main economic shift this century is toward the sustainable global economy. Those who embrace this transition will shape the future. Our goal should be to lead in building innovative and responsible systems. At this conference, in the next 2 days, experts will offer valuable insights on sustainability, and researchers will present evidence-based innovations and solutions. I strongly recommend for an active participation in this 2 days national conference deliberations. With collaboration, sustainable development can drive prosperity. Best wishes for a productive conference. Thank you. Once again, thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Professor Sudarshan Garu, for your wonderful keynote speech, which covers almost all the aspects of the themes which we are going to discuss for next 2 days. As you rightly said, sustainability is not just a business model. Sustainability is a social model and a development model. In this inaugural session, Mr. Jayesh Ranjan presented sustainability in a state's perspective, the business in a state's perspective. In fact, very interestingly, business is not a family, not a personal kind of quote unquote business. A big war is going on in the Middle East. It is not for for the people or for extending their rule over the other parts. It is just for business. On the other hand, people are worried about sustainability of energy and sustainability of resources. The entire world is fighting for power over resources. I mean, it's in such a global context. Having our own sustainable way of development is very, very difficult. And choice is definitely not in our hands. And whatever the business and choice and the sustainability and future will be decided by someone else. I mean, unfortunately, that is the business model in the world now, and we are living in that kind of society. Yes, I mean, they have designed the conference, different thematical sessions, and they planned 6 thematic sessions. And it's a huge, I don't think, you will discuss all 200 papers at length unless you have 5-6 parallel sessions. You can't do, justice to all the paper presenters. I wish you all the best, Professor Pawar, and all the people came from different parts of the country to present their views and papers and discuss on this very important thing at Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University. As I said in my opening remarks, Ambedkar University is located in very strategic development and the growth corridor of Hyderabad, Hills. And you can walk in, I think in the evening, you can go around High-Tech City and other, expanding areas of Hyderabad. Of course, those who are coming from other parts of country, definitely you'll enjoy the stay here in Hyderabad. This is Ramzan season. You can go around and taste the, a taste of the flavors of Hyderabad, including Halim. I wish you a very great success of this seminar. Thank you very much. Now, I invite Professor Y.S. Kiranmay Garu to propose vote of thanks.
Before the formal vote of thanks, I request our VC sir to felicitate our keynote speaker. Also, Professor Pawar to felicitate our vice chancellor. Please. On behalf of the Faculty of Commerce and Business Management, on behalf of the Observatory Committee, and on my personal behalf, I feel it's a privilege to propose a formal vote of thanks for this development session of the National Conference. First and foremost, I express our heartfelt gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Ambedkar Garu, for his inspiring, substantial remarks and for constant encouragement and support in organizing this conference. I extend my sincere thanks to our chief guest, Professor B. Balakrishna, Chairman, Telangana Government Council of Higher Education, and our distinguished guest, Jayesh Ranjan, IAS, Special Chief Secretary, Government of Telangana, for gracing this occasion and sharing their valuable insights. I place on record our Deep gratitude to our keynote speaker, Professor Sudarshan Kuthuru, Jain Executive Education IIM Kozhikode, for delivering an insightful keynote address and that has set an excellent tone for the deliberations of this conference. We sincerely thank all the panelists, academicians, and industry professionals for kindly agreeing to participate in the panel discussion. I sincerely thank our Director Academic, Professor Pushpa Chakrapani, Registrar Dr. V.K. Reddy, for their constant encouragement and support. We gratefully acknowledge the support extended to the Government Host of Higher Education, ICSSR, SRC, our partner institutions of our MBA, HOCM program, Deccan Group, Apollo, and KIMS, and other sponsors for their financial support in organizing this conference in a effective manner. Our sincere thanks are also due to the publishers of the souvenirs and journal for bringing these publications within a short span of time. I also extend my sincere thanks to all the organizing committee members, faculty, colleagues, research scholars, volunteers, and technical and administrative staff for their dedicated efforts in making this inaugural session successful. My special thanks are due to the EMMRC Finance Branch, Computer Center, Public Relations Branch, Engineering Branch, and their teams, and all other branches for their valuable support. I thank all the media for giving wide coverage to this event. I thank all the delegates and participants for their gracious presence and active engagement, which truly enriched the academic deliberations of this conference. Finally, I express my heartfelt thanks to each and every one who has contributed directly or indirectly in making this event a grand success. Thank you one and all. Now there's a short tea break. I request all the delegates to join with us